to actually day number 4 because it is past 12 here in Germany. And we're about to go into the 4th match of the 2nd to 5th place tiebreakers. That's game gonna be against Ninjas in Pyjamas against Gambit. So let's just get to the brackets. Let's have a bit of a look at them because that's what you all want to see to figure out exactly who's going to play who. So we've just seen Fnatic win against EG. That is their 2nd place now in the European LCS. Obviously Lemondog's first, Fnatic 2nd. Still got to decide the next spot. So Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to play Gambit right now. The winner of that will go on to play EG for 3rd. The loser will finish 5th. Are you with me, Jason?
No. Isn't the loser of this loser's match 5th?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That is what.
See,
I am with you,
if
Joe.
we can educate Jason, then everyone in the world should be up to speed with me. So let's start again for you. Losers match. The loser of that one is 5th. The winner will then go on to play in the decider match against EG. The winner of that game will be 3rd, and the loser will be 4th. And that will complete our 8-team finishing places.
And if it
Up to speed, good. We've got a victory here, everybody.
If it gives you any idea where my mind is, loser's match was lobster match for me in my head.
Lobster? We better move on then, don't we? So let's have a look at the teams then, starting with the blue side for this one. It's going to be Ninjas in Pyjamas. A team which, you know, they've not had the best week coming in, but they managed to scrape things through as well, and they did alternate a favor by beating SK Gaming earlier on to keep them in the running. And they are, of course, Mimer in the top lane, Maluno in the jungle, Bjergsen in the mid, Freeze and Deficio, the AD carry and support.
Of course, on that red side for Gambit, we've got Darren in that top lane, Diamond in the jungle, Alexic in that middle lane, and Genja and Voidal as your AD carry support.
So these two teams, Gambit in particular, I want to start with Gambit here and go from, you know, the stronger... You know, they hit the ground running. That's what I want to really say. Coming into this Super Week, they'd had this massive boot camp in Kiev for 1.5 weeks, and it really showed for them.
It did. I mean, we saw them on day 1. They looked like a completely different team. And the biggest thing was, it wasn't about just the entire team and how they're playing. It was all about Genja for me. Like, we're used to seeing him off farming by himself. And I know I said this before, and just getting as much hits as possible, then join the fights when he finally has his 6 items and he feels comfortable. But lately, it's all about them grouping and pushing. And the thing is, no team has a response. Well, I can't say no team because EG and Fnatic both beat them, but most teams just didn't have a response for it. They just couldn't handle that aggression that Gambit would finally bring to the table. And we've always seen Gambit as a team, you know, they take a finger. If you give a finger, they'll take your whole arm. And honestly, they've proven it throughout the Super Week, going 4-1.
So Ninjas in Pyjamas then, as I said, not being very consistent here. Once, you know, this switch, they've had massive roster swaps. Obviously, first of all, changing 3 members. Then they took out Extinct from the top side, or Extinct left to be more precise. And then they brought in Mimer, and they've struggled to find that consistent part. One thing that's been really good for them this weekend, though, is Bjergsen. Bjergsen has been an absolute monster for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Is there anything worse than a monster? Because I think that's what Bjergsen's been. Just his plays on every single champion he's been using so far has been fantastic. And I know we always talk kind of bad about Mimer. I mean, it's kind of.
I don't think bad is the right word. I think.
Okay, let me rephrase then, Joe. Is that we've always talked about him being the weak link right now for NIP. Is that a little better? The weaker link.
I'm still not. Okay. I'm still not falling for that.
Well, let me just get into what I was gonna say. Because I'm gonna talk him up. Because the thing is, his Shen has been phenomenal that he's been using lately.
Yeah.
Like, that was key in their win earlier on today. And the thing is, that 2-man assassination squad that they've been running with him and Bjergsen has just been fantastic. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a ban against that. So most likely they would rely on that Yorick. But maybe, just maybe, we're gonna see him play Rengar. And that's what he's been known for.
That is what he's been known for. And actually, I've seen a couple of threads popping up on Reddit about that. When are we going to see Mimer's Rengar? We may see that today.
And the thing
we
was,
might see that here.
When Rengar came out, Gambit was one of the first teams we saw together that actually used Rengar, top lane and jungle.
Yes, and that was in a qualifier for an Intel Extreme Masters event, I do believe. It was an online tournament. So Darian run it first. We saw Diamond try it as well. So these guys certainly know their way around with the Rengar as well. But we'll have to see. We're going to get into the bans and the picks. First ban, I can tell you, for Ninjas in Pyjamas, not that big of a surprise, to be honest. Lee Sin taken away from Diamond.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious it's going to be that one. We're also seeing another ban come in with Fizz, because Bjergsen, he's he's made some fantastic plays. There's even been a couple of Reddit threads with just some of the plays he's done with the jumping over the wall, catching you off guard, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Shen banned out, as I said earlier, but also see a Zed taken away.
Well, misfortune taken out here for by Ninjas in Pyjamas. They do not want Genja going to be playing that one as well. And he's really brought it back in this Super Week. We saw a fade out of, you know, it wasn't really being picked whatsoever. And he's really done well with it, picking and choosing the bullet times perfectly almost every single time. So not going to be there this time. Ari was the second ban, another Bjergsen favorite.
Oh yeah, I think they might even target him with all three if they don't take away the Shen. And you know, it's funny because I think I talked about this the other day, that Cop over in North America for Curse, he's talked about, or he's actually asked by, I believe, Rivington, why don't you ever play Misfortune anymore? And he said it is because that was like the one champion he really enjoyed playing in the spring split. That's the one champion he really felt like was better than everything else. And they finally played it again in the Super Week, and he did fantastic with it.
Well, the final bans were Evelyn towards Diamond and Zed here. By Gambit towards Bjergsen. Of course, that left the Shen open, so we're gonna see Mima playing Shen. And on the other side, Thresh picked up for Voidal and Twisted Fate for Alexic.
I was just looking at Diamond's face. He was smiling. Like as in, like, yes, we took away all your champions, Bjergsen. What are you gonna do right now? But with the Shen in, so we have that potential for that assassination squad coming in. Maluno, very strong Jarvan jungler, as we even do see Zyra come off the back of that. So we're gonna see Deficio on that yet again. And then over on Gambit's side, that Thresh, I mean, Voidal, he's actually made some fantastic pulls with that. And then the Twisted Fate, which we saw earlier on.
Yeah, Twisted Fate, always a good one for Alexic. Zach gonna be locked in as well. We've seen Darian has some, Darian have some really good performances as well, bringing that Zach to the table. So what are they gonna finish off with here? AD carry possibly to take that away first?
I'm trying to think. If it would most likely be a Varus for Genja. That seems to be like his go-to AD carry when that is taken away. Or maybe even an Ashe.
Or an Ashe, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, the thing I'm confused about is, will the Zac be jungle or top lane? And usually it's top lane, but for some weird reason, I keep thinking Darren's actually going to play Rengar here against Mimer. I don't know, I just get the feeling.
Is it your spidey senses are tingling for some reason?
Lion senses?
Lion senses. Are you lying to me? Sorry. So Ninjas in Pyjamas, an AD carry and the mid laner here is what they need to bring. Obviously could be a Zyra mid, doubt it though. That's not something that Bjergsen's really be favouring. A Kassadin, however, is something that he loves to play, and he is going to play it this time around. And also the Caitlyn in there for freeze.
You should just change that champion's name to Cassawin, with the way it's been happening. That was pretty bad too, happening over this Super Week. But yes, we're going to see freeze on that Caitlyn. It's done very well on. Thank you, Dirk, for laughing. And it's a very strong pick. I mean, it's a very safe pick. You can do very well with it. You hurt very bad late game. You also have that range advantage over a Varus, but obviously Varus does have that potential for that piercing arrow poke. I feel like you have something to say to me right now, Joe.
No, I've got nothing to say to you after that, I'm afraid. So Gambit here then, what are they going to finish with? Voidal's talking it up right now. And he looks serious. Sure? He's half smiling, he's half serious. I'm not sure
Come on.
Where it's going to be. Aatrox, Darian was the first one to play him here in Europe.
My line senses are wrong. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. He was the first one to bring it to European LCS. Then we saw Wicked pick it up. We saw Maluno using the jungle before. We saw Cyanide using the jungle before. And against the Shen, I mean, we saw Wicked play against Shen earlier on. Didn't do too well, unfortunately, in his game.
Honestly, is that going to be a jungle Aatrox? Because the Zax's there as well. It looks like
That's
it is.
A possibility.
It actually looks like it might be going now. Obviously, they could switch here things up last second, but I had a feeling that we might see Diamond bringing out that Aatrox in the jungle. So, interested to see how that one works. As I said, the loser of this game will pick up the 5th position in the summer split of the European LCS. The winner will go on to face Evil Geniuses for the 3rd and 4th place playoff.
And so potentially we could actually see these two teams meeting up in the playoffs in the first round if Gambit does lose, or if Gambit wins and then loses to Evil Geniuses.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you have to use this as practice. Like, you can't fool around in this game. This is a major game that actually will kind of give you either motivation or will kind of shake what you believe in and coming into their match in the playoffs.
So then, right now we see Ninjas in Pyjamas on your screens. We've seen them in a couple of different moods this weekend, looking pretty much downtrodden, but being pretty jubilant as well after a couple of those wins that they've picked up. Wondering which faces they're going to be bringing out after this game here against Gambit. So we are going to be getting into things Alex Hitch certainly looking confident right now. Cheeky little smirk from him as we get things loaded back up in game. And there is Freeze himself, who done fantastic since his addition to Ninjas in Pyjamas. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Edward was definitely right about his contribution to the scene. I mean, he always said he was the best AD carry in Europe. And honestly, I kind of agree with that. He's pretty much right up there with everyone else. And it's going to come down to, is this Caitlyn going to do well in lane this time? I mean, it's been taken away from earlier on. And can Deficio work well with him on the Zyre, which he hasn't played that much during the spring split? Summer split, sorry.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't. I mean, we've seen a lot of Nami from him. He's been bringing out the Thresh as well to the table. Obviously, that was taken away from him this time around. So we're going to find out here exactly how this one all kicks off. But one thing's true, if Gambit are the Gambit that we saw at the start of this final week, this super week, then Ninjas in Pyjamas might be in for a bit of a shock. But we're going to find out. We're in game now. Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Gambit. Level 1 here. There's quite a lot of danger from NIP's side as well. You have the likes of the Grasping Roots, the likes of the Taunt coming out of Shen, obviously, is in that top lane. So starting with the Taunt wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him.
Definitely wouldn't if they do want to go for any sort of level 1 aggression. I was taking a look at Rune Pages of Masteries, and Diamond, he's actually running like a carry page. Like he has actually has the 13 flat armor pen, the 8% and 4% lifesteal, which we never see on junglers to have that. That's usually like a carry kind of thing, as an AD carry kind of thing. And I'm curious, if he doesn't get going in the beginning, that rune page is going to mess him up. He's not going to be useful or that useful later on in the game because he won't be tanky enough to dive in.
Well, let's see what happens here then at level 1. We've got a couple of wards down up until now. Saw NIP putting that ward down on the ramp. A ward going into the corner brush there on the top side of River as well from Gambit's side of things. And Mima just sat in the death bush the entire time, watching on and seeing exactly what will be going down. Similar setup down on the bottom side of the map as well here. So kind of a mirror image from the start. It looks like the one thing that we can say is that we're going to have these 2v1 lanes coming in. Gambit have sent their duo to the top.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking, like, is this what NIP wanted or is this what Gambit wanted? And I think it's actually what Gambit wanted. They wanted... Actually, no, I think it's not what Gambit wanted. I think they wanted to be against that dual lane of NIP to really shut them down, because they are currently heading down. It looks like they're just going to ward up the blue, though. And Freeze, he's going to try to stop Diamond at this blue buff here.
Actually getting the Peacemaker over there as well, and doing a good, decent amount of damage here to both Darian and Diamond. Diamond did manage to pick up that blue buff, tuck it inside of the brush so that Freeze wouldn't have any vision of that one. And that's a good defense from Gambit.
But Freeze did force the smite to come out of him. So that means this red's going to be a little bit slower. And actually, Darren even going to be taking wolves here, because since he would be in that 1v2 situation. But great job by Freeze. Didn't really miss out on anything. Took a little bit of damage, but he can heal that right back up with that Doran's Blade and with his lifesteal quintessences.
And so Mima as well there, starting off on his wolves now. It's a good pickup. Obviously, they spawn later into the game now, but the thing is, he wouldn't be getting any CS anyway if it had gone up to that top lane.
And the thing is that if Diamond does gank that top lane when he is not level 2, he's going to die.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to hit that level 2 as long as he gets back to that lane very quickly, able to pick up enough CS or enough minions to, you know, take over into that. And that will make sure that he stays alive. And I really want to pay attention to Diamond. I really want to know what he's going to do, because obviously we've seen jungle Aatrox before. He's done it. But the thing is, he makes these junglers that you never would have expected phenomenal. We look back at, you know, Volibear, Nasus, back in the spring split. He brought those out, and everyone followed suit.
So, will that be a similar trend here for Aatrox? We'll find out what Diamond generally... I'm going to say his first attempt with each champion that he brings out, it's not always the most successful.
I think it's Karma versus Fnatic.
Yeah.
Wasn't successful at all, unfortunately.
And we'll see how they really go. If I remember correctly, the first game that they had with Volibear was also a loss, but he actually continued to run that afterwards and obviously became one of the more picked champions overall in the LCS spring split. Darren there taking a little bit of damage down in the bottom lane. Mima has already hit level 3 here up on the top side. Has got himself up into double figures in CS, as has Darian as well. So they're actually doing really well here, the single laners.
Yeah, they are, and I'm curious, is he going to be able to keep this up? Because, I mean, I don't want to take it away from him. Like, this happened before, where he would keep up in CS in the beginning, but once the pressure comes on him a little bit, he kind of falls off and starts not getting as much CS. But luckily for him, they do have their double assassination combo with him and Bjergsen, so it's gonna be really interesting to see if NIP can get that going. And if they do, Gambit's gonna have a tough time. However, you know, Twisted Fate, you're gonna have that ability to get around the map very quickly.
So there we see Diamond coming over, putting a ward down for Alex there. Is he going to be able to pull that stun card? Yes, he is. There's the diving. Bjergsen knocked up, having to flash away, but look at that damage coming out. First blood will land, and it is going to be Diamond that picks that one up. Solid, solid stuff. And well, that damage just so intense.
Aatrox. And Diamond, he micromanaged his Bloodthirst Blood cost. I can't remember the name. Quick shot, help me out. His Bloodthirst Blood price.
Cost price, I see where you go.
But he managed it very well because he came in with the healing component of it, but he switched mid-swing over to the extra damage component, and that's what spiked Bjergsen down. And he didn't expect that, and he even was forced to blow that flash, which kind of unfortunately worked against him.
So, good start then for Gambit. We see Voidal just headed off there to get a ward down. Mimer's actually come out here, and I thought he was just waiting for Voidal to throw out the hook before he would have shadow dashed away from it.
Look what Gambit's doing. They did this against SK.
Completely.
They did this to Kevin, and they shut him down so hard that SK didn't stand a chance. I believe they even surrendered that game, or kind of just lost it within like 25 minutes. But Gambit's doing a fantastic job of keeping a Mime away from the CS and taking advantage of his inexperience of being in the LCS so far.
Yeah, freezing that lane out completely here. And Maluna's actually going to come up from this one, but honestly, what are you going to do?
This is really unfortunate because the only thing they can do, push it up together, shove that wave into the turret so it resets and he'll have a better chance. But that gives Diamond the opportunity to go for some ganks here. He's already visiting this bottom lane, and Genji's going to get caught.
Yeah, they're actually going to go into this one. The taunt coming down. There's the hook. Alexic going to get involved, but that's down in the bottom lane. They're going for Deficio. He gets knocked up. He's a dead man. Alexic picks up the kill. Freeze. Oh, actually, Deficio just missed there with a passive on towards Diamond. That could have opened it up for Freeze. But right now, Mimer is underneath the turret. He is actually going to taunt under the turret. Genji is going to burn, but is he going to fall? Yes, he is. Maluno will pick up that one. But Maluno being hit by the turret as well. And that will be 2 kills for Gambit for the 1 taken back.
Good attempt, Voidal. Went for the flash hook, hit a minion, but got the kill anyways. That's all that matters. And right now, Freeze. Ooh, this is not good for him.
Diamond actually diving onto him, going to get the slowdown. Here comes the slingshot and a flash away there from Freeze. Good decision overall.
Yeah, and right now Gambit up 4-1, have a pretty good gold lead so far. They're doing a fantastic job of just taking advantage of the, I was going to say weaknesses of NIP, but taking advantage of what they know is going to be powerful, and that's killing Bjergsen early on, and then pretty much forcing Mimer to play very defensive because now he can't build that tankiness that's been making him so successful with his assassination combo with his mid laner.
So right now, Alex and Diamond going to be doing the blue. That will of course go over to Alex's Twisted Fate. Luckily for Mimer, that top lane has actually pushed right back onto his tower by now, so he can actually get a little bit of farm as Darian is going to dive in on towards Freeze here. Piercing arrow actually misses, but Let's Bounce comes in, slows down, and Darian is going to get the kill. Nothing that Deficio can really do to stop that one happening. Great work again, great coordination from Gambit. They might take the turret there.
Who would have thought an 80 carry makes a good ganker?
Or not.
He came in from lane, went for the ganker there, and just like you said, fantastic communication, fantastic teamwork to just engage, knowing Genji was there on his back. And either way, Freeze does have a CS advantage. He also doesn't have the 3 assists that Genji has under his belt at this point.
Blue buff started by Maluno, Dimerian. That's a bit of a mix between Darian and Diamond there. Bjergsen going to come back and pick this one up, of course. Will get himself back over into lane. He's actually ahead on CS there is Bjergsen. Probably just for the fact that Alex left lane for a while there to gank up at the top. The bottom, sorry.
And now it looks like Gambit's trying to freeze the lane yet again. Or they're just waiting for Freeze to visit that lane. Doesn't have that flash to escape here. And Genji, if he lands that Chain of Corruption, that is a very easy hook for Voidal to pretty much follow up on. Not to mention Freeze, he's only level 5.
Well, he's going to hit the hook either way. Flays him back. There's Chain of Corruption. And that is a very dead Freeze. Just like that. I mean, Freeze should know that Voidal's in that brush there the whole time and that the likelihood of him hitting a hook when he stands still is quite high.
Yeah, it's actually, you know, it is.
The funny thing is it can be harder to hit though sometimes because you try and predict a movement that's obviously not there.
But he knew he wasn't seen right there, and I got the gank right, the order wrong of what their abilities, but still fantastic teamwork yet again by Gambit shown right there.
Dragon.
And now, exactly like you said, they're going to go for Dragon. This is free.
Yeah, AD carry down. We are going to see Bjergsen, or is he going to come down for this one? Now that they actually realize that that one's going on, Bjergsen is going to try and get involved, but nothing really that they can do. That's a 4-man Dragon killing Gambit team that will put them 4,000 gold into the lead.
I mean, yeah, Bjergsen knew if he visited that Dragon, that would be a death sentence. So he just wanted to farm up as much as possible, kind of shove that lane out a little bit more.
So Diamond going to come around to the middle. Bjergsen actually is already used his Rift Walk there. Are they going to be able to get in? There is a slow. Alexic actually pulled the red card there in the end, so didn't have a stun anyway, even if they would have been able to do anything. And now Maluno's waiting to the side, but if he goes into the brush, he's spotted.
Top lane. This is going to be a gank on Mimer yet again. Oh no, they actually turn around, and I believe Alex is kind of curious if he is spotted by a ward, but it doesn't matter. Diamond's going to visit this top lane, and Mimer, he has to play this one out very well if he wants to be able to survive.
Well, let's see here. Darian going underneath the turret. There is Twisted Fate coming in. The knockup's been chained together, and Mimer not going to escape that one. It's Alexic that picks up the kill, but Bjergsen comes up there as well, using that teleport. But look how well they've switched off those turret hits. Diamond taking a lot, Darian taking a lot. Alex took the final two so that Darian wouldn't end up dying, and that will be another kill coming in. Good try from Bjergsen then, just rift walking wildly off into the bush, hoping that he could catch someone. Wrong bush though, I'm afraid. And that's 4,000 gold now the lead, and a 7-1 kill lead for Gambit.
And unfortunately that gank, it could have been avoided if there was a ward at the Wraith camp of Gambit. They would have been able to spot him coming in. That's usually where you do ward against a Twisted Fate, is those two crucial areas, which they haven't been able to do just yet. And Alex, 2 teleports, 2 ultimates, 2 kills.
That's how you make Destiny work, that's for sure. Trying to get some vision control down in his bottom lane, putting pink wards off by the side brushes. You see that Dragon was taken just a little bit early up by Gambit, so that's not something of real concern for them right now, but they don't want to give Diamond any more chances to get around. He's already got a couple of assists to his name, as we are going to see Alexic here caught up in the Cataclysm. He's going to flash away. Are they going to try and dive here? Well, only got the Dragon Strike to lash out, but can't get any kind of knockup.
And Joe, you asked earlier on today, are we going to see the Gambit that showed up to the Super Week, or are we going to see the Gambit that's been playing today? And yep, looks like it's the exact Gambit that we were looking forward to seeing yet again. And 7-1, just like you said, they have a huge goal lead at this point. They have Dragon control. They have pretty much around the map control because of Alex being so effective with every ultimate he's been using. Got early Merc Treads, went for a Sheen for some extra oomph in there. And Bjergsen, the games he does amazing at, he usually picks up a kill like pre-level 7, pre-level 8. And he's just been shut down from that early gank that Diamond put onto him.
Yeah, level 10 he is right now. We've not really seen much of him whatsoever, to be honest. Tried to get involved there with the gank on Alex, but again, just doesn't really have the damage with that tier stacking up with that Catalyst coming in there. And we are going to see the slow coming onto Bjergsen, but Diamond just trying to force him back here once again. Can't get the kill at this stage.
And Bjergsen, his damage just hasn't really ramped up yet. I mean, it's kind of what a Cassidy will do because he's building a large mana pool, so he can obviously Rift Rock around, but it's unfortunate. Usually he's really dependent on getting those early kills, but I mean, we've seen Xpeki do phenomenally well on his Cassidy a little bit earlier. Was that actually Diamond taking that blue?
Yeah.
That was a purpose. My blue.
It didn't mean to, I don't think. Yeah, they timed that one a little bit rough, but honestly, Alex is having a pretty good time of things. He's got his cards to regen them, and obviously the cooldown reduction's not going to be there from it, but I'm not sure that he minds too much right now with how things are going, how well Diamond is running this Aatrox in the jungle anyway. I
think actually with that little mistake that kind of happened for Gambit, we're going to see an invade on the blue buff of NIP, potentially. Alex has his ultimate up, so we'll be able to spot them. We'll be able to get there very quickly. And if you take away a blue buff from a Cassidy, that is very powerful.
Well, we're going to find out. Maluno's already headed over there. And Diamond's actually on his Golem, so that's not going to happen here. They're not going to be able to get that one in gear. That will be gifted over to Bjergsen, trying to get into the swing of things. Actually decently ahead in terms of the farm right now. Looking almost a 10 CS lead. Actually, it's a 12 CS lead, so, you know, what are we going to do? More than 10. But now we see once again a dive coming into this top lane, and did someone just press the repeat
replay?
button backstage? Because I'm quite sure I've already seen this scene being played out once before. That was, again, exactly the same as the kill before onto Mima. Exactly.
That can't be a replay of what we saw earlier. That can't be exactly what we saw because Bjergsen didn't teleport in.
True.
But yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. That's exactly what they did. There's still nowhere to spot Alex ulting in for that, and they're taking advantage of that. I mean, we talked about earlier how NIP lost earlier on today, and the thing was, it was due to Bjergsen getting shut down and Mimir getting shut down. They didn't really care about Freeze and Efficio too much because they realized they can end the game before AD carriers are really that big problem.
So Bjergsen here, he's behind enemy lines, and he's going to see if they can kill this bottom lane off. Let's have a look at it. He's going to riff walk in. There's Ace in the hole coming down on towards Genja. And that was rather unspectacular in the end. They just couldn't get it working. Bjergsen comes across and really not much to write home about. And right now, Gambit are actually putting down a ton of damage here onto this middle turret. And Maluno's just going to have to back away. A brilliant pickup there from Gambit. They stopped the gank in that, well, I say they stopped the gank in the bottom lane. It was more like Nip didn't react and start the gank in the bottom lane. And that will beat the turret coming back. There's Diamond and Bjergsen facing off, and Bjergsen knows that he can't go toe-to-toe with Diamond at this point.
I'm not sure there's many people he can go toe-to-toe with right now. Maybe Genja, but I mean, with these dragons consistently being picked up for Gambit, with them taking 2 turrets and these global objectives, Genja will be strong enough very soon to be able to take him on 1v1, and yet another turret.
Brilliant pickup once again. Second dragon of the game going to Gambit, and 8-1 in kills. And we're really not that far away from a 10,000 gold lead, Jason. And we're only 16 minutes into this game. This is feeling very similar to Gambit versus SK and Lemon Dogs versus NIP in the way that they went down in terms of not really any resistance put up.
Yeah, it's just, it's kind of unfortunate because, I mean, NIP, let's be honest, they want to put up resistance. They just don't have the possibility of doing it right now. I mean, you saw the top lane, 2 ganks exactly similar, worked both times. Bjergsen got killed early on, wasn't able to really do anything against that, wasn't able to stop it, and might even see a gank yet again, but with Rock, he should be fine. Yeah,
actually the hook had just come over from the side there as well. Chose the perfect time to rip walk, and actually Voidal here getting caught out. He's going to get knocked up from this one. Can't see him escaping, and certainly not now. Ace in the hole comes through, and Diamond also might be trapped in middle. He's been taunted up. Can he jump away? No. Well, his Bloodwell will get popped, and then he flashes, and then he jumps away. Brilliantly done there by Diamond. Stops 2 kills
Darian's
coming down.
done.
Darian isn't done. Wow, Bjergsen with the read there. Actually, Riff walks away. Let's Bounce coming through. Genja trying to catch up as well. He's got Flash. Is he going to flash in there to try and get that Chain of Corruption down? Not just yet. Darian taunted. There is a Chain of Corruption. Goes on towards Mima, but he's not got the damage to finish it.
Great rush by Mima on that Spirit Visage as well, just to make sure he could survive this double AP composition that he's up against right now. And we talked about NIP with resistance. They showed it right there. They put up a good fight, able to kill Voidal, almost killed Diamond there too, and were able to keep their lives. But if they can't defend this turret, if this goes down, then that resistance they just put up means nothing.
Well, there's a Lich Bane on Alex Ich now as well, which means this damage is pretty massive as Maluno's going to throw down the Cataclysm, flashes away, but he's a dead man. Darian gets that one with the Ignite in the end. Now Mima's coming over, but there's Bjergsen from the side, but look at the crowd control. He is going straight down from that. Couldn't even get the damage out to get 1 kill, and Genja is, no, it's not. Voidal's going to get a double kill in there in the end. Genja tanks up the turret. And from being just 1 kill and a few turret hits, it turns into, 3 kills and a turret taken down. And they're not stopping, they're still going.
They have the opportunity. Bjergsen's dead for another 15 seconds. Mimer's down for another 15 seconds. Freeze is the only one to defend against this, and with a strong dive team that Gambit has, he can't defend it. I mean, it's just really unfortunate for NIP. They're going to lose this inhibitor at 18 minutes. And Joe, I noticed something. During the boot camp, I think Gambit trained Voidal to be very reminiscent of Edward because he's playing that carry support right now. 4-1.
He's doing well. He's got more kills than Alex and Darian put together. Well, he's got the same as both of them
I was
put
going to
together.
say, wait a minute.
Math, my obvious strong point at this time of day. But yeah, that's, again, just brilliant play from Gambit. And then Ninjas in Pyjamas are so far behind in this game that they can't really put up any kind of defense for it. And look at the gold, it's over 10k now.
One thing I will say though is that we saw Gambit versus EG earlier on, and the same situation. Well, obviously not as one-sided for Gambit, not as one-sided then. But we've seen that Gambit can have an advantage and they can still lose games. NIP, there is always that chance for them to pretty much turn this around and pick up a victory. They do have a Kassadin. He can snowball very hard. They have a Freeze, or a Caitlyn, who's still decently well farmed right now. I mean, he's a little bit behind Genja, but still puts out a lot of damage. And if NIP, they make it to that late game, they have a very strong team composition. So NIP, all they need to do is just hold on right now, kind of stop the bleeding that's happening from them, and they can be able to turn this around.
Well, they seem to have a very different idea of that at this point. I mean, we saw Bjergsen there getting around the back of them by using that teleport to get involved in the fight, and they just turned around and the CC was put together so nicely that he actually did pretty much 0 damage to anyone. That was perfect, and that just shows you that Gambit seem to be ready for anything that you throw at them right now. Diamond on this jungle Aatrox. Yeah, out of the jungle Aatrox we've seen, being the most impressive so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the early game pressure he put out was just crazy. The damage he did was fantastic. The ruins and mastery page he's been using has been working out well, but I'm curious, if he got shut down a little bit, if he got maybe counter-jungled, would he still be this strong? I mean, obviously he wouldn't, but what's the degree difference between those two?
Well, I don't think we can answer that one. I mean, you could always say that what if NIP would have got 10 kills in the first 2 minutes? Obviously never going to happen, but you just can't factor that in. I mean, all you can see is what he's done at this point of the game, which is cause problems for NIP across the board and be incredibly strong at the early game, which got Bjergsen killed, which stopped Bjergsen being any kind of threat at this stage. And NIP actually going in for a bit of a fight here. Mima going to get hooked and pulled out. The Strangle Thorns go down. Well, that's surely only going to delay proceedings here. Flash card, Sun card comes out there. Maluna will actually have to flash away from it. And NIP lose 1 man and a whole host of health before they go through. Good block from Voidal, and they take the turret.
NIP lose their tankiest man right now on that dive, and now Freeze is getting caught.
Yeah, he's dead as well. Picked off by the piercing arrow. Finally from Genja, who's now up at 217. There's still no one that's got as many kills as Voidal, funnily enough, on the Gambit team, but crucially, they've all got kills at this stage, and we might see a 21.5-minute Baron.
They are spotted, though. Bjergsen's come in, and he is going to cross over Ward, I believe. Yeah, he's going to be spotted.
But what's he going to do? Is he going to kill Diamond? Is he going to kill Darian? They're both coming back to life. Sorry.
Ooh, here it comes.
Well, it's probably not going to kill anyone here. We are going to see Shen coming in, but will it be too late? Bjergsen is going to go down. Well, Mima's now left all on his own. Stun card goes down. There goes the finisher. And that will be it. Genja's actually burning there at the back from the Ignite, but Gambit turning that one around, and that's the thing. The passives of both of Diamond and of Darian, like, they were low in that position. They could afford to actually die to the Baron and then come back.
How messed up would it be if they ran a Zillion and a Yorick in this combo? And then GAs everywhere for everyone. That would suck for any team playing against them. But now, I mean, they did stop Baron at least. NIP were able to do that. But what I'm thinking about now is, with this Dragon, with the items they built up, I mean, just look at the item differences that they currently have. Are they just going to push? Maybe go for Baron because they have complete control of it? Or just keep forcing these fights on NIP, keep forcing these dives, and just take complete advantage of it?
Well, they're going to take Wraith for now. That's what I can answer you. After their 3rd Dragon of this game picked up, we've got a Haunting Guise now added in there for Darian. Got the makings of the Zhonya's Hourglass coming down as well for Alex Ich as they spot them down in this bottom lane, and Mime says, no, I don't want to stay around here. I think I'll leave. Oh, these minions going to push out, and this is going to be a free turret for Gambit. Nothing that NIP can do.
I think Mimer's definitely the man saying, guys, we should back away, because last time they tried to defend an inner turret, he was the one that died from that. So they are going to give that one up. And Gambit, do they have the siege potential here? Obviously, you have some pretty good wave clear out of Freeze, but you also have amazing wave clear out of Alex, and he's pretty far ahead right now in terms of his items. And with the dives we've seen already happening out of Gambit, they can afford to do it. I mean, just like you said, with those 2 champions that can die and come back to life, it really allows them to go for these dives if they want to. And it really forces NIP to make a decision. Do we try to defend it? Do we engage, or do we just back away?
Darian's actually pulling a minion away from bottom to the mid lane right now. And that's because they want this inhibitor, and what they want, they're going to get this time around. So, another big pickup here by Gambit. and they're 5,000 gold away from making it a 20k gold lead, and we're not even at the 30-minute mark of this game yet. This is a thoroughly one-sided affair. Gambit really running rings around Ninjas in Pyjamas. That inhibitor turret is taking a lot of damage as well, and it's really Alex Ich that puts out the big chunks of damage into that one. Genja obviously putting out constant as a flash comes in there. It was Bjergsen actually that flashed away from that. And now Alex comes back in and wait for this card to hit the turret. You'll see then how much damage he's actually going to be throwing in there. In the end, pulls the stun card out, and it's just a case of when, I think, right now. That's how this game feels, a case of when Gambit can break through.
The thing is, when Gambit's in a situation like this, they seldomly ever lose. They have that middle inhibitor down, that super mini wave is just pushing through. Someone on NIP has to deal with it, and at this point, Freeze doesn't have the damage to take it down very quickly. Neither does Bjergsen, and they're the two that's being depended on to clear that wave out. So they're gonna lose either a Nexus turret or an inhibitor turret here.
Well, they're gonna fight for it actually, as we see the Strangled Thorns go down. Bjergsen gonna get stunned up at the back. Where is the Let's Bounce? There it is. Darian bouncing around the pack, can't quite get out of the Cataclysm. Well, they've picked up a kill for it, and they're gonna get inhibitor number 2 right here. And right now, another solid push straight through, and NIP realizing, you know what, guys, we have to fight. We have to fight for this one, otherwise they're just going to win anyway, and that will be inhibitor number 2 going down.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bjergsen just teleported to a minion outside of his base, or inside of his base from his...
Wow, that hook there from Boydell. Bjergsen's come through. There's a chain of corruption, and he goes down before he can actually finish off the kill there on towards Darian. And that's just the story of this game for NIP, and they are going to surrender this one. Gambit win the game. They're going to go through to have a rematch against Evil Geniuses coming up here in a little while. And it's hard to really say much about that game, Jason. Poor old Mimer in that top lane. We saw 2 repeat dives on him, 3-man dives in the top lane, or the 2 men plus Destiny coming in from Alex Ich. He actually ended 0-7-1. And just across the board, it wasn't a very happy game for NIP.
No, it wasn't. And I mean, I think they're going to come back or come out of this game and just remember, you know, we're in playoffs. We were able to do it with their major wins. They're able to pick up today. They're able to say that they're going to be going to Gamescom, going to be competing for their chance to go to World Finals. And one thing's for sure, right there, that game showed NIP's weakness. If Bjergsen gets shut down, if Mimer gets killed in that top lane, even if he gets Shen, then the other team can just kind of take that and run away with it. So they have a lot of things they need to fix in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and double the CS there for Darian to Mimer. That was pretty much the case right from when Darian first hit double figures, that Mimer just couldn't keep up with that because of the position that he was put in. Before those dives came in, obviously it was that whole freezing of the lane in the top, so he just couldn't come... He couldn't get anywhere near it, not near the experience, not near the farm, nothing. And he was just outplayed in that top lane. And really, NIP tried to bring him back in there. They pushed Maluno through the lane to try and push the wave back on the turret. They got 1 kill, but then they both died in the end to Voidal, who, by the way, ended the game at 4-1-5, which is joint highest amount of kills in the game with Genja, his AD carry. So those two seem to have found their partnership.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen a team do what Gambit's done in terms of that strategy of freezing the lane. We've seen teams, you know, do it obviously, but we've never seen a team be as successful as Gambit has with it. I mean, think back to their game versus SK. They kept Kevin out of the game for the entirety of it. I mean, he didn't hit level 3 till like, was it 8 minutes into the game? Something ridiculous. And they were able to do that again to Mimer, just like you said. And the thing was, when that happens, NIP recognized it. Like, they knew exactly what Gambit was doing, and they tried to force that response. They tried to make something happen to try to stop it. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. And then from that, Gambit was just able to snowball that game. And a brilliant performance it was as well by Gambit. They're going to move to play EG in the next one. But for now, I'm going to head to Demon and Quickshot to break down all the match.
Thank you very much, Joe. And well, an interesting game there. And straight away from the picks and bans, it looked like Gambit had the idea of what exactly they were going to do in that game.
Yeah, we once again seen Alex playing Twisted Fate. He's one of the few people that has played it over the course of the weekend. And interestingly enough, Aatrox has picked up a for Diamond Procs in the jungle. And, you know, Jason was questioning the decision early on and saying, well, what do we feel about it? But my word, did Diamond make that work.
And he worked for Cyanide earlier on as well. So this is a couple of times now Aatrox starting to make those appearances in jungle. So working very well.
Yeah, it's something that can work well for you when you're able to consistently make your aggressive ganks work. And for a team like Gambit, who know how to make ganks work, obviously it pays off for them. Because what we've seen was two distinct things happening during the course of the game for Gambit. Number one was Diamond Prox making successful ganks with Aatrox in multiple lanes. And number two was Alex using Destiny to once again consistently pick up kills. You know, we've seen Aatrox going top lane. At one point, Joe even said, hang on, did somebody hit the replay button? Because it was the exact same three-man dive.
And talking about those ganks, they worked very well for Gambit and not very well at all for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Were they just too tired for today? Has it just finally got to them? Are they just happy? We heard about Deficio earlier saying, I'm just happy to get there.
I got to be very honest. I was watching the player cams during the course of the match, looking at the players' faces, and also, more importantly, looking at the decisions in game. And, you know, when you think about the two-man tower dive in the top lane, Jarvan and Shen diving against the Thresh, they got caught by a flay, got caught by a hook, and it's like, what did you think was going to happen? There's not exactly the biggest amount of burst damage between a Jarvan and Shen. So I just think the incredibly long day, you know, NIP played a number of games. Everyone's been stressed and worried, trying to do math, trying to figure out all the possibilities. And I think it just got to them. I mean, it is almost like one after one already. And it just affected the decision-making in the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have an interview already, and it's going to be actually Alex Sitch. He'll be standing by with Shox, and we don't want to delay him too much longer because, of course, it's going to be Gambit versus Evil Geniuses. Will be coming up after this.
Thank you very much, D-Man. Alex, you were joking with Crepo just now. Can we make this last one a best of 3 or a best of 5?
So best of 7 we play now.
No, but seriously, going into the last matchup against NIP, it seemed like you wanted mainly to shut Bjergsen down early so he couldn't get rolling. Is that the fact?
No, that wasn't the plan. The plan was just like for me to farm level 6 and then Gana after that, but Diamond was just in time and Bjergsen was a bit overextended mid, so we got TF Aatrox combo. It was perfect to gank him, and we decided that it's good time to kill him, and after we killed him first time, it was free game for me and for Diamond to roam around the map.
Yeah, very good game from you guys. You had you have to pick yourself up after that last loss. It seemed like you guys were really down against that one against EG, and we saw you kind of discussing with the rest of your teammates, and Darian especially, what was going on there.
No, we were just discussing that moment at Baron that cost us the game, and still like it was everyone's fault because like Diamond shouldn't go there, engage. I shouldn't TP there. Genja should be around there, and like you can't decide who did wrong there. So we were trying to make everyone like it's your fault, not it's your fault, not it's your fault. So just like it's the game, and sometimes you just play bad and nothing to do. We just needed to go through it and just play our game against NAP.
Yeah, sometimes you play bad, sometimes you play good. What's it going to be for this next one? A rematch. You can get revenge on Evil Geniuses.
We will play best of 7, and the first that falls asleep, that will lose.
And you guys are very good at training in your dreams, so that should be no problem. Thank you very much, and good luck in the upcoming match.